5 creatures that shouldn't exist, but do. Introduction. They're closer than you think. My name's Dan Harper, and I'm from Mill Hollow, Indiana, a nowhere town swallowed by endless cornfields, rusted silos, and dirt roads that lead to nothing but more nothing. I've been here 32 years, born in a clapboard house off Route 12, raised on stories of hard work and harder winters, fixing tractors for farmers who barely scrape by, sipping warm beers at the Rusty Nail Tavern when the days run too long. This place is quiet, too quiet sometimes, where the wind carries whispers nobody wants to hear, where the nights stretch dark and heavy, pressing down on you until you feel the weight of something watching. I used to think I knew Mill Hollow, every creaking barn, every muddy creek, every face in the diner. But then the creatures came. Things that shouldn't exist. Things that do. Creeping into my days, my nights, my head. Turning my world into a nightmare I can't wake from. These aren't ghost stories or old legends to scare kids. They're real. They've crossed my path. They've marked me. And I'm here to tell you about 5 of them. 5 impossible horrors that live closer to you than you'd ever want to believe. Story 1. The Three-Legged Runner. It was late August, humid, moonless, the kind of night where the air clings to your skin like damp cloth, and the cicadas scream louder than your thoughts. I was driving home from the feed store, my old Ford truck, rattling down County Road 7, a winding stretch of gravel flanked by cornstalks tall enough to hide anything, headlights slicing through the black ahead. I was tired, bone-tired, hands still gritty from loading sacks, when something darted across the road, fast, too fast, a gray blur with 3 legs pumping, uneven, wrong, not a deer, not a dog, not anything I'd ever seen. I slammed the brakes, tires squealing, dust swirling thick, watched it stop, dead in the beam, turned slow, red eyes glowing like embers, body lean, muscle tight, a 3rd leg jutting from its side, twitching like it had its own heartbeat, staring me down with a look that cut through me. My name Dan rasped from its throat, low, guttural, a sound that wasn't human, wasn't animal, wasn't anything but wrong, freezing me in the driver's seat, my hands locked on the wheel. I floored it, engine roaring, gravel spitting, felt it chase, thumping behind, a relentless rhythm, red eyes glaring in the rearview mirror, teeth bared, grinning wide, keeping pace as I swerved, heart slamming against my ribs, sweat beating cold on my neck. I made it home, barreled into the driveway, doors locked, lights blazing, heard it circle the house, claws scraping the siding, Dan echoing outside, low, taunting like it knew I'd run out of road eventually. Next morning I checked, found tracks circling my yard. 3 deep prints, uneven, pressed into the mud like a signature. My name, Dan, scratched into the porch wood, jagged, fresh, splinters curling around it. I told my buddy Pete at the nail. He's a hunter, seen everything. Thought I was drunk until he saw the tracks. Went quiet. Said his uncle did something like that in '93. Never hunted again. Swore it whispered his name too. It's been back. Nights, thumping. Past my windows, red eyes flashing. Dan, rasping louder, tracks deeper, closer, waiting for me to step outside, waiting for me to slip. Story 2. The Talking Hound. October rolled in. Cold, foggy, leaves rotting wet on the ground. The kind of weather that makes you feel trapped. I was walking my dog Rusty by Tanner's Creek, a quiet spot a mile out, where the water runs sluggish, and the trees lean heavy, their branches clawing at the sky. Rusty's a mutt, scruffy, loyal, barks at shadows but never bites. Froze mid-step that night, hackles up, growling low, ears flat, staring into the fog ahead. Then I heard it. A howl, deep, echoing, not his, not any dog's. Words forming "help me" in a man's voice, shaky, pleading, cutting through the mist like a blade through flesh, sending a shiver down my spine I couldn't shake. yanked. Rusty's leash, called his name, saw it step out from the brush. A hound, black, matted, ribs sharp under its fur, eyes too big, too bright, mouth moving. Help me, clear as day. Human, desperate, staring straight at me. Not him, not anything. Else, just me. I backed off, Rusty barking wild, pulling hard. Heard it again. Dan, help, my name. My voice twisted back at me, the hound lurching closer, unsteady, jaws wide, words spilling, stay, as I turned and ran, dragging Rusty through the mud, legs shaking, breath ragged, fog swallowing us whole. We made it home, locked up tight. But next morning, Rusty was gone, leash cut clean through, dangling from the porch rail. I found him by the creek, hours later, silent, sitting still, staring at me. Dan, howling from his throat, not his, not mine, eyes locked on me, pleading, wrong, alive with something that wasn't him anymore. I don't walk there now. Burned. His collar, moved his bowl, but I hear it, nights. Help me, drifting through my walls, through the trees, closer every time, calling me back to that creek, calling me to stay. Pete says it's old magic, something the settlers woke up, but I just hear my name, over and over, pulling me apart. Story 3. The Face Thief. December came, snow falling soft, wind howling through the gaps in my windows, a bitter cold that sank into your bones. I was up late, nursing a coffee, staring at the fire. When I glanced out the kitchen window, saw my sister Ellie, pale, smiling, waving slow, standing in the yard under the oak. She'd died in 19, car wreck on Highway 31, spun out on ice, buried in the town cemetery, gone forever. But there she was, knocking gentle on the glass. Dan, let me in. Her voice, perfect, too perfect, the same soft lilt she'd had. Over Sunday dinners, chilling my spine, rooting me where I stood. I froze, breath fogging the window, watched her eyes shift. Black, hollow, skin rippling like water, claws peeking from her sleeves. Not Ellie, wearing her face like a mask, tapping. Louder. Dan, it's me, insistent. Shadow stretching tall, thin, wrong, bending in ways no human could. I barred the door, phone dead, power flickering. Heard her circle the house, footsteps crunching snow. Dan, I'm cold, pleading through the night, wood creaking as she pressed closer, nails dragging, voice rising, falling, begging me to open up. Morning came. She was gone. But footprints stayed, clawed, too big, circling tight. Dan, carved in the snow, red tinged, deep, like blood had seeped into it. She's back, weakly now. Ellie's face, her voice, Dan, I need you soft, then sharp, but I see it, the ripple, the claws, the thing beneath, taller each time, learning me, mimicking her laugh, her walk, waiting for me to crack and let it in. I keep the curtains shut, nails in the frames, but it knocks, patient, wearing her closer, her eyes blacker, her voice hungrier, whispering through the walls when I try to sleep, promising it's her, promising it's not. Story 4. The Naming Crow. February turned brutal, ice snapping underfoot, wind biting through my coat, a cold that made your teeth ache. I was clearing snow from the driveway, shovel scraping, breath puffing white, when a crow landed on the fence, big, black. Feathers ragged, staring hard, unblinking, its head cocked like it knew me. It opened its beak, cawed Dan, my name, sharp, deliberate, not a mimic, a voice, deep, knowing, pinning me where I stood, shovel slipping from my hands, clattering on the ice. I swung, missed. It hopped back. Dan, again, louder. 3 more joining, landing on the roof, the mailbox, the tree, circling slow. Dan, Dan, Dan. A chorus, wings beating, eyes glinting, closing in tight, their cries overlapping, drilling into my skull. I dropped everything, ran for the house, heard them follow. Dan, echoing through the yard, the trees, the windows, relentless, coordinated, alive. A flock that moved like one mind. I locked up, watched them perch, 5, 10, 20, more every dawn. Dan cawing, scratching my name into the shingles, the fence, the ice, deeper, sharper, a growing map of their claim. I shot one, borrowed Pete's rifle, feathers. Flew, it hit the ground laughing, Dan, falling, others shrieking louder, angrier, diving at the windows, claws tapping glass. Dan! A scream now, a threat, a promise. They're out there, day and night, watching me, waiting for me to step outside, their numbers swelling, their voices sharper, cutting through my dreams, calling me out to face them, to join them, to break. Story 5. The Bodiless Crawler. Last week, March, rain pounding steady, turning the yard to muck. I woke to tapping, fast, wild, on my floor, my walls, my bed frame. A rhythm that yanked me from sleep, heart racing before my eyes opened. I flicked the light, saw legs, spider-like, 8, long, jointed, crawling alone. No body, no head, just limbs skittering across the hardwood, circling me, tapping Dan in rhythm, insistent, alive, a sound like nails on glass, rising, falling, pinning me to the mattress. I swung a broom, cracked one. It bent, kept going, others climbing the bedposts, weaving a web of legs around me. Dan, louder, faster, a chant that shook the room, the air, my bones. I grabbed a match, lit it, burned one, flame flaring. It screeched, Dan melting, black ooze dripping, rest scattering under the bed into the walls, gone for a breath. They're back, nightly, tapping harder. Dan, endless, under the house, in the vents, the crawl space, skittering closer, louder, a swarm of limbs hunting me through the dark, through the quiet. I don't sleep, sit up, lights on, hear them, feel them, know they're real, impossible. Here, moving faster, tapping my name in patterns I can't decode, closing in when I blink, when I breathe. I checked the crawl space, found scratches. Dan carved deep, ooze pooling, legs darting out of sight, waiting for me to come down, to face them where they live. Final. These 5, the 3-legged runner chasing my truck, the talking hound stealing Rusty's voice, the face thief wearing Ellie's skin, the naming crows screaming my name, the bodiless legs tapping through my house. They shouldn't exist, but they do. In Mill Hollow, in my life. Closer than I can stand. Closer than I can fight. I'm Dan, doors barred, windows nailed, lights blazing, wondering if they're mine alone or if they're out there, stalking you too, whispering your name in the dark, scratching it into your world. They know me, hunt me, and I'm asking, what's calling you right now? What's tapping at your door? What's waiting in your shadows?